Well, hello there, and welcome to this first issue of my forecasts for 2014. Let's just get something straight from the offset. I can't tell you what's going to happen day to day, etc. Like, don't wear the colour green or don't go out on a Tuesday, because that's just utter nonsense, which, you know, mystics, etc. Abuse astrology and astronomy, and you know, they put in superstitions and they put fear into people, and gullible people at that, to try and, you know, just get into their brains a bit, and they think it's comical. I can't do that. Nobody can do that. Nostradamus had a try at doing it. Maybe he could have done. Who knows? But what I can do is I can give you a solid guidance for the Aries this year on, you know, and their eastern counterparts, of how they are going to fare on the whole in the year of the horse, which starts on the 31st of January 2014 and it goes right the way round to the 15th of February 2015. So, you know, bearing in mind, you know, a lot rests on our own shoulders. You know, astrology is an aid, it's an art, it's a science, and it's there as a help. It's like if you gave up cigarettes. Okay, you've got the patches, but you do need the willpower. Exactly the same with astrology. To help it make, you know, work for you, you really do need to, you know, sit back and take the responsibility yourself as well. So combined, it's a very powerful thing, and that's what I'm going to hopefully let you know here. As I say, the hocus pocus, I can't do, nobody can do, and so let's forget that, the day-to-day rubbish. Let's get into our fingerprints, as I say, on the earth, which is our year, and our sun sign, our western sun sign. That is our DNA. Yes, things and events can change us ever so slightly, like how we're brought up, but the main core of us is that, and that's it. You can't change it. That's our birthright. That's what happens. Okay, so when we enter the year of the horse, and this is for all the Aries and their counterparts, it's going to be particularly strong for the Aries horse. When you go into multiples of 12, significant things generally, not always, but generally happen. So, it being the Aries horse year, if you like, you're going to come in on your birthday, whether you're 24, 36, 48, whatever you are, that's what you're going to be this upcoming you know, birthday. So, the Aries horse is going to have a very strong year. It's to do with skills. If you've got any skills that you've left unattended to, get on it now. This is a year to make anything like that pay. If you want to branch off to any business where, you know, you might have wanted to go out on a limb in the past, you know, chefing, whatever it is you want to do, you've had that skill, or you've done night college for, or whatever you've done, take a chance on it this year, because it's very, very favourable. Yeah, very strong points of the year are going to be March and April, July and August, and November and December. Everything's favourable for the Aries horse. Also, this is a very strong year for the Aries tiger. Likewise, again, skills, it manifests itself, and also business plans. And for the Aries tiger, if you maybe want to couple that in with some travelling aspects, which I know the tigers like to do, that's a very important thing. If you're looking to set up overseas, anything like that, the Aries tiger, this is a very good year. But wait until we get into it, January the 31st. And likewise again, your very strong points are going to be around your birthday, March and April, and also at the back end of the year, November and December, are going to be very strong points. So, but all in all, it's going to be a very solid time to make decisions on the business front. Also, we have to look at the Aries dog having a Very strong year again. The dog being ultra watchful. Maybe this is a year where you can relax a little bit, still keep your eye out, but the horse in its essence promotes loyalty as well, so maybe you don't have to worry so much about your partner, Aries dog. We're coming out of the cycle of the snake year. A lot of people can be recovering or tempted for extramarital, not so much that, but not so sure about where they're really going in life. The Aries dog can relax a little and do what they do best, being a great warm, loving person, and maybe losing a little bit of that anxiety, only a little bit, because you don't want to take the essence of you away. But I can feel this being a very smooth and solid year. Your strong points are going to be likewise around your birthday, especially the month of April and just after. May, springtime is a very good time for the Aries dog, but all in all, very, very good. It's also going to be a very solid year for goats. Aries goats are going to have a solid year, not quite into the level the three previous I've mentioned, but nice and solid, tranquil. The horse promotes a little bit of beauty, which the goat loves. They love the aspects of the countryside. They love contemplation. They will get plenty of that this year. It's a very good, solid year for the goats. We also have to say it's going to be a very good year for the pig as well, along with the goat, very similar. The pig's home is going to be their castle. They're not going to have so many things go wrong with the home, etc. Like, I don't know, burst pipes, that sort of thing. Little gritty things that can really wind the pig up in the home, thinking, not again, not again. They love their homes, they love their comfort, they love their, that security and that snugness. It's going to be very, very good for that. So, Aries pigs, really look forward to this year in that sense. Your strong points are going to be in the summertime. From June, July and August is going to be a very strong time for the Aries pig. So if you're thinking of purchasing a property, I would do it around that time, because it is surrounding the home for you this time. Also, we have to look at the dragon. The dragon normally makes their own luck anyway, and they won't be listening to me very often as it is. But the Aries dragon is going to have a very, very solid year again. If they are thinking of adding businesses to the businesses they've already got, will go ahead and do it. Nice and strong, but a strong time for the dragon is the winter time. So if we take November, December and January of 2015, the very good times there, even stronger than the prior months, but as I say, a very good year. The signs to be watchful of the Aries is the Aries ox and the Aries rooster. They're going to have to be very watchful this year. It's not going to be a disaster, but it's a time to be watchful. The oxen will have to worry about going too inward and then bursting into tempers out of the blue. Well, they're not out of the blue, because the ox knows why they're doing it, but sometimes the people around them don't. So be very careful. Try and be wary of situations which might bring that on. I know you're quiet, oxen, and you only speak when you feel comfortable, but maybe this could be a year where you talk a little bit more if possible, just so things don't build up. For the Aries oxes can be a difficult time in the year of the horse. Also for the Aries rooster, very similar again. I can see there may be a chance of over worrying, which is, that's easy for the rooster to do, is worry too much, but maybe a little bit over cautious. I would be very watchful of money, which the rooster sometimes can be extravagant and then stingy, and then extravagant and stingy. I would try and go with the rooster. Try and keep a medium here. Let's not have these fits and spurts like we go on a mad spending spree, then we don't. Let's just try and keep it level, and it will stop worries about money. It's going to be a tough year. Don't get me wrong, this isn't going to be plain sailing. You're going to have to be watchful, and you're going to have to be looking out, what's around the corner, very much so. Also, we have to be looking at the monkey. The monkey having a tricky year. The monkey can be a little bit glib, as we know. They can flitter and flatter about. This is a year when they have to be watchful for the company they keep, and just getting misled, or maybe getting the wool pulled over their eyes with a bit of flattery, etc. Especially around the summertime. I'd be very wary there, monkey, Aries monkey. No one's trying to, you know, just give you a bit of sugar or flatter you a bit, because there's not always, you know, scrupulous people out there, and it can be a vulnerable time for you in the later spring and the summer months for this to happen. So, once again, be very watchful, keep your head down and work hard, which I know you do brilliantly, but, you know, just be ultra wary of that bit of flattery, or that bit of, you know, oh, you know, you're looking great. Just be careful of that, because this could be a tricky year for the Aries monkey. Now is the bad part. I have to come into the three eastern counterparts that are going to have a particularly tough year. And let's start with the rabbit. It's going to be a particularly tough year for the rabbits. The Aries rabbit will, you know, find their conscience being a little bit in doubt. They tend to like to do the right thing, but sometimes they can come out with a little tall story here and there, just little white lies, just to keep everybody happy. They don't like conflict, but this could be a year of conflict, so try and keep the thought of pleasing everybody down. Don't keep putting that pressure on yourself, Aries rabbit, because all it will do, it will build up into a crescendo. Come the winter time, you could have some problems on your plate, which I know you don't need. You don't like the conflict, you love security, you love the family. I don't want there being family feuds over bits and bobs like that, so be very careful, because this is going to be a tough year for you. So I hope it goes as well as it can. Then also we have to look for the trouble that the snake's going to have. The snake, we've just come out of the snake here, and as I've mentioned, the snake is a very temptation-orientated year, and it's also the sign of solidity, and we just tend to go along quite tantalising along. Sometimes it can be a very sexual year. Now we've come out of that, and maybe the snake might have exhausted themselves, but they can have come out of this, and when we come into the year of the horse, the Aries snake may find they didn't come out of certain relationships with all of their skin intact. There's a little bit of residue, there's a little bit of reminiscing, there's a little bit of, you know, being hurt. You know, the snake's a tough cookie when it comes to love, because, you know, they are the seducer, but they may have come across a couple of times where it hasn't gone particularly right for them. So the Aries snake, I really just want you to tuck in, you know, and get that sort of charm back. Take a step back, you know, don't try and conquer so many people in the year of the horse, because it tends to backfire. Very, very difficult year altogether, and you could have somebody come along that, may break your heart. So I just got to be very wary with matters of the heart for the snake this coming year, because it could be very difficult, and I really hope it goes, you know, a lot better than what the planets and what the Eastern year promises. But a vulnerable time is going to be springtime, especially around your birthday. So we're looking March and April and even into May is a very vulnerable spot, so just be careful. And it gives me not very good pleasure to say for the Aries rat, it's going to be an extra especially tough year. They're going to have to curb their generous streak, because they could end up with grave financial troubles, and we know the rat loves to be first on the scene, especially the Aries rat loves to be first on the scene, and the new is this and the new is that, but you're going to have to curb that, because it's a financially very, very, very tough year for you, and it can have a knock-on effect. It could take a year or two to recover, so just be so careful of that. Even though they say we're growing and there's growth, etc. If Aries rat, especially because it's anti-rat, the horse year, in a lot of ways, it magnifies that spendthriftiness and that generous streak to the point of you could be completely broke. So let's just be very, very wary of that. Okay, please tune in for the next set of forecasts, and I